What's up guys, my name is Ian Eisenberg and this is the rocket mount tutorial. The rocket mount is a trick that can be done in many different ways, but in this tutorial I'm going to be focusing on the kipping method, a technique that involves powerfully swinging your legs and using momentum rather than brute strength to get back to the line. To make this trick a little easier to digest, we're going to break it down into 4 smaller parts: the drop, the swings, the kip, and the press. But first, let's talk about the body position and the leash management for the rocket mount. Put the leash on one side or the other. This will help prevent the leash from wrapping around your leg as you drop down into rocket. Keep your feet about shoulder width apart and your knees slightly bent. Okay, now we're ready for part 1, the drop. There are a few different ways you can grab the line when you drop into rocket. Both hands inside your feet, both hands outside your feet, and one hand inside, one hand outside. All of these hand positions work equally as well as long as you keep your hands far enough apart that you can fully engage your shoulder and back muscles. The main goal of the drop step is to try not to lose any of the power from the bounce. To do this, wait for the highest possible point in the bounce to reach down for the line, keeping your weight centered above the line. Notice that there's a brief moment where both hands and feet are on the line, preserving the full power of the bounce. Let's have a look at an inefficient drop. By starting the drop too early, I kill much of the potential power of the bounce, making the next steps more strenuous and much less flowy. You may prefer to drop into rocket from regular, but if you choose to do it this way, it's important that you rotate yourself fully to the side before dropping down. Let's have another look. Here I'm starting the trick in my regular stance, but rotate a full 90 degrees before starting the drop. Having your body linear and symmetrical during the drop will help ensure an efficient and powerful swing. Here's what it might look like if you don't rotate the full 90 before the drop. You can see that my body is much less symmetrical, resulting in an inefficient diagonal swing which absolutely kills your power. The final piece for the perfect drop is to engage your core slightly and keep your legs out in front of you as you drop. This will put your body into good position for the next step, the swings. Immediately following the drop, with your legs in front of you, let your feet come up above your head and straighten your arms. Your biceps should not be engaged as you start the swings. The most important part of the leg swings is that they are done in one continuous and fluid motion, flowing seamlessly and without pause from one swing to the next. Here's what it looks like when you do the swings without a continuous motion. Look familiar? Squeezing your core muscles and stopping the momentum during the swing screws up the timing and makes it nearly impossible to get back to feet. Instead, focus on trying to achieve a loose yet powerful, uninterrupted swinging motion, trying to avoid holding any tension in your core or biceps. Another critical component of this step is the timing of the leg swings. The first swing backward starts just before the bottom of the bounce, finishing fully at the absolute bottom of the bounce. Look how powerful yet loose this position is. My body is perfectly positioned for a strong second swing. Notice again that my arms are totally straight. The second swing happens immediately after the first, with no pause or hesitation. Use your core muscles to generate as much power as you can. Let's watch again from another angle. Start the first swing just before the bottom, finishing completely at the very bottom of the bounce. Start the second swing immediately as the line begins to rise. Let's look at some more of the common mistakes during the swing step. The no swing. If the thought of not engaging your biceps is scary for you for fear of the line snapping out of your hands, you're probably not swinging your legs enough. A good strong swing helps redirect the force away from your hands and into your back and core muscles, helping to avoid the line being ripped from your hands at the bottom of the bounce. Another common mistake is not keeping your legs together during the swings. I call this the 1-2 kick. Even though this technique might work, it's super inefficient and I don't recommend it. The last mistake we're going to look at is probably the most common: poor timing. Even if you're doing the leg swings correctly, if you're doing them at the wrong time, this trick simply won't work. Our second to last step is the kip, and it's all about timing. The kip is that little kick that translates the swinging momentum into upward motion. Unlike the swings, the timing of the kip will be different depending on the line you're on. On shorter freestyle lines, you will find yourself doing the kip almost immediately after the swings, but on longer lines, you may have to wait or stall the kip until the right moment. Another subtle but important part of the kip is to use your shoulder muscles to pull your body into a slight lever position. This is also the first moment where you will begin to engage your biceps. Even if you have to stall it out, a good rocket mount still flows seamlessly from the swings to the kip. It's all about finding the right timing for the line you're on. Congratulations, you are now ready for the fourth and final step, the press. The press is yet another step that's all about the timing. Immediately following the kip, wait till the absolute top of the bounce, and then extend your arms and press the line down and away from your body. Let's look again from the side. Notice how at the exact moment that I press down with my arms, I also let my butt come up and my back move into an almost horizontal position. Pressing down with the arms, lifting the butt, and letting your back come flat creates the space you will need to put your feet on the line. Keep in mind that if you try to press before the top of the bounce, it will probably feel impossible to get the line underneath you. If you find yourself struggling with this step, it may help to isolate the movement and try only the press at the top of the bounce. In the following bounce, try to go from this fully pressed position back to feet. Practicing this should help you find the right timing. After pushing the line down with your arms, there are several possible ways to put your feet back on the line. 1 foot inside your arms, 1 foot outside, both feet inside your arms, and both feet on the outside of your arms. You will likely use each of these at one point or another. If you've made it this far and you're still having trouble with the rocket mount, here are some drills that you can use to work on your timing and technique. Start by hanging statically in rocket, then using only your swings, kip, and press, try to generate enough bounce that you can start trying to put your feet back on the line. The bounce will start off very small, but will steadily grow as you add more power to it. Engaging and then relaxing the biceps at the top of the bounce helps generate downward force, which increases the bounce substantially. Add a couple of presses and you should have created enough bounce to start trying to get your feet back on the line. Now, the final test of whether or not you have truly mastered the timing and technique of the rocket mount, the one bounce rocket. If you feel like you absolutely need a big bounce to do the rocket mount, your timing and technique probably still need some work. To further demonstrate this point, I invited top female freestyle athlete Salome Cholet to come do some rocket mounts with me. Hopefully she can help me prove that you don't need massive power or a big bounce to do the rocket mount. I challenged Salome to try the rocket with only 2 bounces, something she'd never tried before. She nailed it first try.
Oh, that was much easier.
But would she be able to pass the final test and do it with only 1 bounce? There you have it. Now you have no more excuses to not try the rocket mount. The rocket mount is a trick with endless possibilities and variations. Now that you've learned how to do it, I hope you'll enjoy exploring them all. Thanks for watching the rocket mount tutorial.
Yeah.